नमस्ते।
नमस्ते सर।
हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया।
थैंक यू सर।
Okay. Now, in yesterday class, we discussed about some positive points of Richard Hughes that he advises us to believe in pathological teachings, pathological approach in every case. While you selecting simillimum, we are more confident about the pathological symptoms of the disease. So, yesterday we discussed 3 points in which some beneficial effect we can get from Richard Hughes' teachings. Now, in this scenario, in relation to Dr. Hahnemann teachings and Richard Hughes' teachings, we can conclude that negative points are much more than positive points in Richard Hughes' teachings. So, many physicians are converted from Hahnemann to Richard Hughes' teachings, and many physicians again revert back to Hahnemannian approach. They saw we can get more beneficial point. We can get easily simillimum while approaching the Hahnemann's theory, Hahnemann's teaching, because there are a lot of positive aspect in collecting the simillimum, such as in Hahnemann's teaching. First of all, we consider human being as a whole. We consider patient as a whole. In taking the case, we take every minute detail of the patient, mental, from head to foot. We consider as a whole. From mind, there are a lot of emotions. There are some problem with the understanding, in the memory, in the intellectual power, and at the physical level, we have to consider every physical general symptom of the case. Because why? Because it guides us to write simillimum. Why? Because the individuality, qualities या characteristic features lies at mental and physical level. So, here is more easy approach to the case. Right now, suppose this we can understand by example, that is, if a case of pneumonia, in one case pneumonia affects the right side, and in another case affects the left side of the lungs. The pathological changes are almost similar in both cases also. There is inflammation, exudation, hepatization. All these things are easily seen in both cases of pneumonia. There is no peculiarity. And if we consider Hahnemann's approach, then we can easily find out the simillimum. We can easily find out the peculiar rare symptom in this case. Like in one case, pain is stabbing, stinging pain. But in another case, patient complain of dull pain. So here we can find remedy easily, because in one case there is the peculiarity of scabbing pain, stinging pain, so we can easily find out the remedy. And in dull aching we can also find out that remedy, but our selection of the remedy on the pathological findings, then there is no peculiarity. Only we can see the common symptom of pneumonia, and it never guide us for right symptom. Isn't it or not? Are you agree with me? In Richard Hughes, they consider the analogy existing between the disease process and the morbid appearances found after death. As we discussed in the last lecture, that teaches pathology are considered to be the morbid end result of the disease, and it terminates with the death of the patient. So there is no beneficial effect for therapeutic purpose. This part is useful for study for pathological development of disease. Only this point. Which point? Richard Hughes' pathological aspect of the disease is useful only to gain the knowledge, to understand the disease process. What is the ultimate of the pathology? What are the post-mortem effects of pathology? We can take as a study as a knowledge aspect only, but there is little value in considering the minimum. Are you getting this point? Any doubt? So you must write some important line, that is in pathological approach they attempt to base the relation of the remedy on the analogy, analogy existing between the disease process and the morbid appearances found after death. Now the another aspect of the some drawbacks, some negativity from the pathological point of view. That is, knowledge of pathology or its history has been and is ever being presented to us a succession of changes of belief and the theories. Means we can't take this pathological aspect in a therapeutic value because there are a continuous process of changing the philosophy. Each allopathic physician believes in his own theory, his own belief system. They make theories, but there is no certainty. But in reverse of that, in Hahnemannian approach, that is the nature's law of cure is applicable in all disease conditions, either acute condition or chronic conditions. We can easily apply this therapeutic system. Which one is? Nature's law, Hahnemannian teaching. Now write down these postmortem changes. These postmortem changes are neither the beginning nor the end of these disease processes. Although often the end or death of the patient. Although often the end or death of the patient. So the impracticability of using these changes as a standard of therapeutics while on the other hand the totality of the symptoms as a perfect standard to be an agreement therapeutic agent, and in correspondence with law. Nobody is speaking. Why? I am asking the question. Only that student speak. Okay. What is the therapeutic agent? Yes. What is therapeutic agent? Priyanka? What is therapeutic agent? Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. हाँ पता बेटा किस therapeutic agent. नहीं हाँ ये तुम it's very disappointing for me. You are in 4th year BHMS. What is therapeutics? This is not the exact definition of therapeutic. Sit down.
डिजीज को क्योर करने वाले मेंटली फिजिकल एंड पर्टिकुलर सिम्टम्स जो टोटलिटी और सिम्टम्स जो निकल कर आता है किसी पेशेंट का, तो उसके लिए जो सिमिलिमम जो आता है, पेशेंट का जो सिमिलिमम आता है सर,
उसको कहते हैं अपन
थेरापेutics.
You are saying rightly, but this word therapeutic is not only related to homeopathy. Therapeutic system या चिकित्सा संबंधी therapeutic system related to homeopathy, in which we prescribe a suitable medicine for the patient for the purpose of cure or free from the disease. That is therapy. And sit down. What is therapeutic agent? Yes.
किसी भी डिजीज को या फिर सिम्टम को क्योर करने के लिए जो मेडिसिन हम सिमिलिमम से करते हैं.
Yes. That is the medicine. Simillimum, appropriate homeopathic medicine. Sit down. It's very disappointing. Therapeutic agent का नहीं पता. I am asking again and again. If you have some queries, ask me. Are you getting point exactly? Yes, sir. there is no problem. So, no study, no confusion. We believe in this principle. A strong follower of this principle. No study, no confusion. But when you develop a confusion in your mind, it shows your progress will start very soon. If you have no doubts, no confusion, then your progress at standstill level. Anyway, continue this. So, therapeutic regime, when we apply in medicine and consider the totality of the system, symptoms, according to Dr. Henneman, then it is a best method to treat the diseases in a simpler format way. Clear? Here we today discuss some negative points about the Richard Hughes' teaching. Yesterday we discussed some positive. They are very few. Right now? Mostly in pathological cases, there is a irreversible pathological changes occur. Then, at this scenario, we can prescribe only some pathological symptoms on the basis of some pathological symptoms, because all other symptoms are removed or not present in the case. Only we can create a compensation to alleviate the suffering of the patient, to relax his remaining life. So, Henneman theory, write down. So, Henneman's theory the more simple and the more positive of the two. Yes. In this way, the symptomatology is not a local thing, but a general one. And we no longer confine our study of the case to local manifestations. So, in homeopathic prescription, our main object, that is the person, that is the man in disease. We does not look the local symptoms, the local disease, the pathology. We have to consider man as a whole. When a patient comes to us and telling his chief complaints, as soon as he enters in our chamber, he describes his chief complaints. because the chief complaint are the main factor, main thing for the patient to consult a doctor. But for a homeopathic physician, we consider chief complaints in the last while making the totality of the symptoms. Chief complaints are important for the patient, but for homeopathic physician, chief complaints are not important. The important symptoms are generals, very good, mental and physical generals, because they individualize the case. In chief complaints, there are lot of common symptoms, so there is no significance. So it should be considered in the last. Right now? But we are free to make our therapeutic application from every visible change from the standard of health. In the whole organism, whether it be physical, mental or moral. For they all become partaker, Partakers, partakers means participate करने वाले, of the sufferings, partakers of the sufferings of the organism and deserve the same attention from the true healer. So, mental and physical symptoms are the part of disease process. First disease appears at functional level, at mental level. The first thing is affected in disorder, that is the will. What is the will? What is the will? What is will? Thinking is the part of intellectual, but will is different, and Dr. Kent says will is the very important.
Choice of patient to find
Desire,
fear, love,
related to desire, emotions, all emotions, jealous, anxiety, fear, weeping, all those emotions we consider in will. So all these things take a part, or I want to say that is beginning of disease process, beginning of disorder. First start at our mind level, mental level. Okay, are you getting this point?
Yes.
So in today's lecture, we discuss the negative aspect of future disease. Our topic name is miasm and their relation to pathology. This is important for example to read. So listen carefully, understand accordingly, and develop some confusion.